Number one draft picks are often the most talked about baseball players in the country, and while some of them have become superstars destined for Cooperstown, there remains a few duds whose names have been completely forgotten by history. Let's tell the story of each number one pick over the last 25 years and find out what really happened to them and their career. This is Batter's Box, and thanks for tuning in. In 2000, the Florida Marlins selected Adrian Gonzalez, a promising first baseman from Eastlake High School in California. Let's be honest, who even cares about skill? I'd draft Adrian based on his goatee alone, but his ball play was just as sexy as his goatee. He was the San Diego Padres' best player for many seasons early in his career, and had a swing that was smooth as butter. By earning multiple All-Star selections, Gold Glove awards, and being one of the most underrated fantasy baseball players in the league, Adrian had a career that was just awesome to watch.
You guys try it.
Well, yeah, you're selling it well.
That's well hit to center field, and Adrian Gonzalez has hit a two-run home run.
While he never won an MVP, nor will he likely make the Hall of Fame, the routinely great Adrian Gonzalez was truly an underrated MLB star.
Down Sheffield.
Little pop-up, and Mauer might have a play. Did he catch that?
Joe Mauer was a natural at pretty much every sport in high school. He played point guard for the basketball team, quarterback for the football team, and catcher, no duh, for the baseball team. But it wasn't just the big four sports that Joe was a legend at. It seemed anything he tried, he was good at. One of his teammates remembers one day when Mauer and his friends went to the bowling alley, and Joe rolled a 265-point game, which would put him in the 90th percentile for bowlers. When Mauer was drafted by his hometown baseball team in 2001, the lucrative contract and ability to live near home seemed enough to convince him to choose baseball over football, and he joined the Twins. In Joe's 15 seasons with the Twins, he secured 3 batting titles, the only catcher in MLB history to do so, and the 2009 American League MVP. His career included 6 All-Star appearances and a reputation as one of the league's most stand-up guys. I mean, does anything sound better than just grabbing a brewski with good old Joey boy? After retiring in 2018, Joe was inducted into the Hall of Fame in his first eligible year, and stands as one of the best number one picks in baseball history.
And the 2-2 to Hafner. His swung on and missed to end the inning.
The Pittsburgh Pirates selected Brian Bullington in 2002, who was a dominant right-handed pitcher from Ball State University. He was celebrated for his collegiate success, and expectations were very high, like they normally are for every first-round pick. But Bullington, how do I put this lightly? Well, he sucked. He struggled with injuries and performance inconsistencies. Over sporadic appearances with multiple teams, he recorded a 1-9 win-loss record and a 5.62 ERA over 5 seasons. And despite finding some success in Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball League, he is remembered as potentially the worst Pittsburgh Pirates first-round draft pick ever.
And everybody knows he's ready to fire on the first one. Bases loaded. Young swings, line drive. That is down and to the wall. Cruises in.
In 2003, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays drafted Delman Young, a highly desired outfielder from Camarillo High School in California. Delman was only 17 when he was drafted, which just goes to show how many chimichangas he must have been hitting in high school. Young made his MLB debut in 2006 and looked like a future superstar after finishing second in Rookie of the Year voting. But 2006 would unfortunately be where he peaked. Despite being super talented, Young's career was marred by inconsistency and off-the-field issues such as a hate crime harassment charge for a fight at his hotel where he yelled anti-Semitic epithets. Young's MLB career ended in 2015 and is a cautionary tale for what happens to those who peaked in high school.
Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. 101.
The San Diego Padres selected a standout shortstop in 2004 named Matt Bush, but what started out promisingly quickly became probably the weirdest bust of a number one pick of all time. Bush immediately got himself into legal troubles and ended up having to serve prison time, not even playing in his first MLB game until 12 years later when he made a remarkable comeback as a pitcher. Debuting in the majors over a decade after being drafted, he somehow became a reliable bullpen asset. Yet right when things were looking up, he was arrested after fleeing an accident scene while intoxicated, and after being charged with a DWI, Bush's career ended, possibly to be remembered as one of the craziest up and down rides for a first round pick ever. Before we continue though, this is a quick reminder that you are loved, and no matter what you're going through, you can make it through. I believe in you.
And he hits one. Way back. Diamondbacks
win!
In 2005, the Arizona Diamondbacks selected Justin Upton, a dynamic outfielder from Great Bridge High School in Virginia. Upton quickly ascended to the majors and debuted in 2007 at just 19 years old. Over his career, he earned multiple All-Star selections and Silver Slugger awards, played for teams like the Atlanta Braves, San Diego Padres, Detroit Tigers, and Los Angeles Angels, and despite injuries in later years, he remained a respected veteran presence and borderline MLB star. After a streak of busts over the previous 3 years, I would say Upton, while never the best player in the league, definitely lived up to his hype.
Struck him out.
The Kansas City Royals selected Luke Hochevar, a right-handed pitcher from the University of Tennessee in 2006. Hochevar's MLB career began with struggles, where he posted a bunch of inconsistent performances, including a 2012 handcaking, where he led the entire league in earned runs. Luke transitioned to the bullpen after 7 years in the league, which for most would have been a career death sentence, but somehow he totally revived his career. He actually became a key factor for the Royals, especially in their 2015 World Series run. Injuries eventually led to his retirement in 2018, and while 9 average seasons definitely didn't live up to the hype of a #1 pick, a World Series dub is a World Series dub. In 2007, the Tampa Bay Rays selected the Beast, David Price. I mean, doesn't his name just roll off the tongue so nice? David Price. David quickly became an enforcer in the Rays rotation, and even though he was just a rookie, he played a pivotal role in getting his team to the 2008 World Series. Price was electric for many years. He won the Cy Young in 2012, was an All-Star multiple times, and at the peak of his hype in 2015, inked the then largest MLB pitcher deal ever at $217 million. It's kind of crazy that sounds like chump change now, but after retiring in 2022 with 14 great seasons under his belt and a World Series victory, he stands as one of the best #1 draft picks of the 2000s.
A drive to left. Goodbye.
The Tampa Bay Rays selected Tim Beckham, a shortstop from Griffin High School in Georgia in 2008. And honestly, that's about as much there is to say about him. He showed flashes of offensive potential, but in 7 seasons, he never was an All-Star even once. Achieved only 3.2 WAR total. And after being suspended 80 games for PEDs, for steroids that clearly were just oregano, Beckham retired in 2022, seemingly having made almost no mark on the league.
Crazy. Swing and a miss. Steven Strasburg's first major league strikeout.
In 2009, the Washington Nationals selected Steven Strasburg, easily the most hyped draft prospect of the decade. Steve was the talk of the town for his sometimes 100 miles an hour fastball. And minus Paul Skeens' debut, something we will get to later in the video, Strasburg's first outing was probably the most exciting pitching debut of all time. Pitching so hard comes at a cost though, because Steven required Tommy John after only his first major league season, and it seemed that his career could be over before it even really started. Strasburg silenced the haters though, because he returned even stronger and even won the 2019 World Series MVP. Strasburg eventually became so weighed down by injuries that he retired after only 13 seasons in 2022, but he says that he will find comfort knowing he left it all out there for the only team he's known.
Oh my God! Deep to right field, way up there and way out of here!
The Nationals made waves in 2010 by drafting Bryce Harper. The team had just drafted the insanely hyped Strasburg, and then, just 1 year later, acquired an even more talked about prospect than Harper. It was obvious that Harper would be a superstar from even his teens, because he was named the chosen one by Sports Illustrated at just 16 years old. But what he would eventually become has defied even my own highest expectations. Love him or hate him, Harper has an insane resume so far. He's won Rookie of the Year, 2 MVPs, and received a bonkers 13-year, $330 million contract with the Phillies. It's hard for any player to live up to the expectations of a #1 pick, and it's even harder when the expectations were as large as Harper's. But I would say definitely so far, Bryce Harper lives up to the massive 1-1 expectations.
Takes out Seager.
Called third strike, Garrett Cole
In 2011, the Pittsburgh Pirates selected Garrett Cole, and he quickly established himself as a true ace. Cole performed great on the Pirates, and after a trade to the Astros in 2018, he elevated his performance even higher by leading the league in strikeouts and signing a record-breaking contract with the New York Yankees. At 33 years old, it's hard not to ask if Garrett Cole's best days are behind him, but even if they are, he has been truly special to watch and remains the Yankees' best pitcher heading into the 2025 season.
He lifts it into left, down the line, at the wall. Goodbye!
The Houston Astros picked Carlos Correa with their 2012 pick. At the time, the Astros were the poverty of poverty franchises and hadn't had an above 500 year in 4 seasons. Correa was a talented shortstop from Puerto Rico, and the Astros hoped that he could bring some young energy to the franchise that would end their streak of blowing chunks. Correa debuted in 2015 and won American League Rookie of the Year, and helped the Astros to finally have an above 500 season. Correa was really exciting to watch, but he likely peaked in the 2017 World Series, where after that, his reputation was hurt by the Astros cheating scandal, and his Giants contract fell apart over 2014 leg concerns. But nonetheless, he remains one of the biggest names at shortstop and a #1 pick that has definitely paid dividends.
1-2. And a call. Strike 3. First big league strike. Got it.
In 2013, the Houston Astros selected Mark Appel with really high hopes, but his professional career quickly became quite possibly the biggest bust in MLB history. Appel struggled to even get promoted from the minor leagues and took 9 years to make his MLB debut. Appel claims he never fully recovered from an appendix surgery in 2014, which sounds to me like a bunch of baloney from cooperstown, but he has since made a comeback and debuted with the Philadelphia Phillies in 22 at age 30. Technically, he could still become a good MLB player, but I think that is very unlikely, and his status as the biggest bust will probably hold true.
Left-hander Brady Aiken, San Diego is his hometown. He goes to work, and the fastball.
The Houston Astros finished out their 3rd consecutive #1 pick by taking Brady Aiken, a big, hard-throwing left-handed high school pitcher from California. But their choice went sour almost immediately. Honestly, I kind of wish we could go back to these simpler times when the Astros couldn't catch a break. When Aiken was drafted, his $6.5 million signing bonus was contingent on a physical, and despite being cleared by doctors to pitch, the Astros were concerned that he had a smaller than normal pitching arm ligament and decreased his signing bonus to $3.1 million. Oh, poor Brady, only $3 million buckaroos. Aiken declined the new terms because of the decrease, making him only the 3rd #1 overall pick not to sign. And after undergoing Tommy John surgery in 2015, he was later drafted by the Cleveland Indians, where he kind of just disappeared and has not pitched in a baseball game since 2019.
Swing and a ball drilled left field. That one back on its way and gone!
Dansby Swanson was taken by the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2015, and despite being traded quickly to the Atlanta Braves later that year, he developed into a key contributor and played a pivotal role in the Braves' 2021 World Series trip. Swanson's career has been marked by steady improvement, solid defense, and timely hitting, and with one of the coolest names and hair flows in the league. Even though he is coming off surgery, I wouldn't be surprised if he ages like a fine wine and becomes one of the league's best players in the coming years.
It's 3-2. It's hit pretty well to center field. But Moniak is going back at the wall. He leaps up. And how about it?
The Phillies selected Mickey Moniak, an outfielder from La Costa Canyon High School in California in 2016. Moniak's professional career has been a slow progression, with struggles to adjust to higher levels of competition. But he recently made his MLB debut in 2020, which was a good sign for him. He hasn't totally secured a starting role, but with a pretty good 2023 and 24 season on the Angels, some more consistent at-bats, and being described as the best after Mike Trout by one critic, Moniak could become a big MLB name in years to come.
And the 0-2. A swing and a drive into left field and deep. Back it goes and gone! Royce Lewis!
Royce Lewis, a shortstop from Jacera Catholic High School in California, was chosen as the first pick in 2017 because of his top-tier athleticism, but also his charisma. The dude just looks like he has fun when he plays, but his development has been very slow. After a torn ACL that sidelined him for the 2021 season and part of the 2022 season, and now a quad injury that he is currently working through, the journey hasn't been so easy. He made his MLB debut in 2022, and he remains a key part part of the Twins' future plans, having hit 15 home runs in only 58 games at one point. But to become a true superstar and the long-term starter at third base, efforts to improve Royce Lewis's defense are necessary, as well as efforts to remain healthy.
With the first selection of the 2018 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Casey Mize.
In 2018, the Detroit Tigers selected Auburn right-hander Casey Mize with the first overall pick. He entered the MLB with a strong 4-pitch mix: fastball, cutter, slider, and splitter. But scouts were concerned about his injury history and mechanics. After a brief debut in the minors, Mize excelled in 2019, posting a 2.55 ERA, which led to his MLB debut in 2020. But he struggled with consistency. In 2021, he finally secured a full-time rotation spot, but concerns about his mechanics remain. Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez warned that if the Tigers didn't clean up his release point with that kind of pitch, the split finger, you're probably looking at a guy that's gonna get hurt. And he was right. After just 2 starts in 2022, Mize underwent Tommy John surgery and missed all of 2023. And after a disappointing 2024 season, his fate is extremely uncertain.
Melendez pops this up in foul territory towards the Kansas City dugout. Rutschman into a slide, and he makes the catch.
In 2019, the Orioles recognized Adley Rutschman as a generational talent and drafted him first overall. Adley was a 2-sport athlete at Oregon State, as the football team's starting kicker and the baseball team's starting catcher. He is also a switch hitter, which makes his athleticism literally freaky. After leading Oregon State to a College World Series title in 2018, hitting .411 with 17 home runs in his junior year, it was a no-brainer to take him number 1 in the draft. Rutschman quickly rose through the minors and debuted in 2022, finishing second in Rookie of the Year voting while helping the Orioles win 31 more games in the previous season. 2023 was more of the same success, and while Adley struggled in the second half of 2024, many think that last year is the exception and not the rule, and he will remain the franchise figurehead for years to come.
Spencer Torkelson left-hand side. So much for that. 1-0 Tigers right out of the chute.
Selected by the Detroit Tigers, who had just lost 114 games, Spencer Torkelson was the consensus number 1 overall pick in the 2020 MLB Draft. At Arizona State, he set records as a freshman, hitting 25 home runs and breaking Barry Bonds' school record. And despite a shortened junior year, he finished just 3 homers shy of the school's all-time record. Torkelson moved quickly through the minors, reaching the majors in 2022, but initially struggled as a rookie. In 2023, he figured things out with 31 homers and 94 RBIs to show for it, but now seems to have returned back to the struggle bus. After a disappointing 2024 season, manager AJ Hinch has demoted Spencer to 7th in the batting order and admitted that he is running out of ways to try to get the first baseman going. While he remains a top power hitting prospect, only time will tell if he's able to get back to the superstar track he once seemed destined for.
Fly ball deep left field. Did he get it? Did he get it? Clear the deck. Cannonball coming.
The Pirates selected catcher Henry Davis first overall in the 2021 MLB Draft after a breakout junior year at Louisville, where he hit .370 with 15 homers. Known for his elite plate discipline and strong arm, the Pirates shifted him to right field due to top catching prospect Endy Rodriguez. Davis excelled in the minors, posting a .454 on-base percentage in 2023 before earning a call-up. Though he struggled offensively in 62 MLB games, hitting 7 homers with a .653 OPS in 2023, and then only 1 home run in 37 games in 2024, his defense shined, ranking in the 98th percentile for arm strength. Despite his struggles, at just 24, the Pirates remain confident the former number 1 pick Henry Davis can put it all together, and hopefully 2025 can be his breakout year.
Holiday drills in right field, down the line, grand slam!
Son of former MLB All-Star Matt Holliday, Jackson Holliday entered professional baseball with high expectations as the Baltimore Orioles selected him with the first overall pick in 2022. Jackson progressed through the minor leagues quickly and was called up in 2024 to play 60 games. While he only maintained a 189 batting average and a .565 OPS, he is only 20 years old, and reports prior to the 2025 season say that Holliday is more comfortable than last year and ready for his first full MLB season.
Pitch.
In 2023, the Pittsburgh Pirates selected Paul Skeens, a right-handed pitcher from Louisiana State University, noted for his high-velocity fastball and mound presence. And with his devilishly handsome mustache, a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and moderately attractive girlfriend, his professional debut was by far the most anticipated start from a pitcher since Steven Strasburg. Skeens lasted less than a year in the minors and made his MLB debut in 2024, skipping over the typical learning curve faced by rookie pitchers and jumping right into ace mode. Skeens became the second Pirate to win NL Rookie of the Year only 498 days after the draft, and his work ethic and talent make him probably the most exciting player to watch develop in the coming season.
There's a fly ball to deep center field. Payne won't get it. Goodbye!
In 2024, the Cleveland Guardians made Travis Bazzana, a second baseman from Oregon State University, the first overall pick. Known for his contact hitting and defensive reliability, Bazzana is currently beginning his professional career in the minor leagues. As of 2025, he is acclimating to professional pitching and working his way through Cleveland's farm system, and while his future is the least determined of all the draft picks in this video, he sits atop the list of Cleveland Guardian prospects and has a bright future ahead of him. Number 1 draft picks obviously have a lot of pressure on them to achieve. Often their expectations are so high that one bad season or injury can be seen as a massive disappointment or even the end of their careers. Watch our video on 11 MLB players that disappeared too soon to see what has happened to number 1 draft picks and other prospects that just couldn't find a way to meet their colossal expectations.